All right, good morning, good morning. Looks like we're going to be opening up inside day so far after a doji close yesterday. We do have a bit of a double bottom happening right now. Small gap down, but market looks like it's trying to hold a double bottom. We definitely have good news this morning off of the jobless report, which I think lined up perfectly with this. Yeah, that's the 9:30 release right there. Yep. So, going to be anticipating a little bit of upward movement potentially off this small gap down. We'll see. It's trying to put in like a nice W here. It hasn't really completed it yet, but it's trying. Got our highs and lows marked of yesterday's doji close. Hourly chart is still like, we're basically flagging up here, I guess. We did pop that high and reject straight down, which kind of did reverse us. We put in another topping reversal pattern up here on the retest of that area, which is, you know, not the greatest for continuation to the upside, which then did retest itself and failed again. But now we are trying to put in a double bottom down here. So larger picture, it is kind of consolidating up here and like flagging, I guess, if you will. But at the same time, the pattern is not the greatest. We'll see. Did hold and is trying to hold again, kind of. But we'll see what the market gives us for opportunities. Never did actually confirm the W, not yet. Nice, check that swing point, held right back up. Okay. There we go. Let's get held. It's important for us to break up above the 89 level. That's the key point for it to actually be a double bottom potentially. Definitely didn't have conviction right away. There we go. Broke above it by 1 tick so far. I'd like to see it go a little bit further than that. Did go another tick, but okay, there we go. Nice, seems to be trying to get through that, no problem. Good morning, man. Makes sense that we'd get some profit taking here. Got 4 minutes for this 5-minute candle to get back up and close above there, or it could potentially be a false break. Pretty big candle. Took it right back. It's good. Now let's make sure we don't fail double top here. There was sellers here, and then they've just shown up again, but like there's definitely big buyers there too quickly to take it right back. Doesn't visually look like a normal double top that I would want to play. It is right off the moving average, and we got a false breakout potentially happening to that larger downtrend line. But visually, looks a little goofy. Inside candle. No trigger on the short yet either. 5-minute candle didn't close too bad. Definitely price coil action here. It's definitely taking a lot longer than it would normally take for like a double top to play out. Normally, like if it was going to reverse off something like that, it should have just kind of gone. So with us coiling up here, like both sides are active at this level for now. Tested just below. Right into where the majority of the stop outs from this whole price action would have been. Right underneath there. Getting quite a bullish reaction off of it so far. seeing that makes me want to be a buyer more than a seller, but this doesn't really fit into my strategies, so still waiting. But that is a very bullish reaction off a stop out area, off that pain level. Retest. Price action is like it. There's definitely buyers present and like they're trying, but it seems like there's just a stronger seller. We've been up here so long, it's weird. It didn't reject and it didn't extend. It's we also have good news going into the market this morning too. Maybe it's a good location for a bigger player to unload. We have a one tick poke off of what is now a two-legged pullback. Technically we did double top, push a low. $94 is the level to break. Oof. Choppy, tight little trading range up here. It's definitely a two-legged pullback signal right there, but I don't really have any confidence in it either way. There we push below again. So it looks like we do have a potential failed breakout now above that level. Right back to the moving average. Finding sellers again on the retest of what we lost there. As much of as this was a two-legged pullback, the context here and visual, like I just was not, it's not how I would normally want to see it, so not really a trade. Could tell something was a little goofy up here because we were kind of given both like information for me to look both ways and neither of them were going through, so yeah, it should have like either went sooner or failed sooner. It hung around so long that I was like, it seems like distribution basically. Checking low at day. Woke up this morning to a foot of snow. Or almost a foot of snow anyway. Check below low a day pretty easily there. Didn't really stutter at all. Purple line is our yesterday's low. A little bit of a reaction there off of a test underneath low a day. That is not a bad failure off that moving average. Spike up, small inside, tests, rejects back down. Trying again. Well, failed to really break out to the downside at all. Feels very rangy. Right back into our top area of distribution. Failing to really break through the low and hold it, so makes sense to come and retest the high. As much as this looks like a little breakout failure pattern right now, I don't really want to play. I like to play this, but when it's like extended, you know, away from the mean, we're kind of like in the middle. It's not really where I'd want to play this pattern. I mean, it hasn't really finished how I'd want to completely see it. Well, not at all now, but definitely the location for me, just price is not extended. That was at like an extreme down here or an extreme up here or something. I'll just be patient. Be patient. Spending a lot of time up here in this little, and then we're making, I mean, we're just holding a real tight range again, right up here again. Check just below it. Yep. Looks like it did reject that level after all. Well, our range analysis early is still still very pertinent. Yesterday was a smaller day compared to what we've had lately, and it did close as a doji too. Some indecision at these levels. No real momentum for me to play. It's not like a real trending environment at all for me to, you know, get into a two-legged pullback. Really, the only thing that I could be watching for is like mean reversion setup. Which has kind of formed here and here, but not clean, not the way that I would normally want to see it. And this one specifically, it's like in the middle of the day, almost like barely between these two ranges. It's not really where I'd want to see it. This one kind of made more sense, but then it didn't follow through like I'd want to see it all. So not really any clean setups so far at all. Price is kind of coiling tighter, which really doesn't interest me. I think I'll use this time to refill my coffee, so I'll be right back. Two-legged pullback again. Not a bad like setup, but the location is just so scuffed for the context of the day. We did just have a little bit of an aggressive move down. Two legs up. It's not bad, but just don't have enough experience deploying it in this kind of like tightening day. So presentation wise, it looks nice right now, but that's about it. Context on the day has no, I have no faith, not yet. Yep. Circle that for the review for sure. We got a one tick poke over that nice trade signal. An instant rejection. It makes it look even better. kind of have that happening, I think. Just a wedge. We're wedging. Little wedgers. Any wedgers? And same thing on the hourly. Fairly price coil action. I don't think we've seen a day like this in a little bit, have we? It's been this tight. Yesterday was a little weird, a little funky too for the first while. The afternoon had a pretty clean trend up. And it's very similar to yesterday this morning, very coily, very choppy. Are you just sitting on your hands this morning too, man? Or do you have a strategy to deploy in environments like this? It's true. Yep. Yep. Yeah, right on. That's the muscle I'm trying to grow, man. Which I have done a lot better with this last month. But the other side of it is when the days do come and there is a lot of good signals, I'm too hesitant. So I'm like, I'm doing better at being patient, but I'm not doing better at actually pushing the pedal on the days that make sense. So that's the adjustment that I need to continue to improve on for sure, which comes with confidence and such, which I think I'm still growing very much. Confidence in my systems so that I do continue on the days that it makes sense. rejection right off that top after it stopped out the two-legged pullback and then went into nasty chop again. Price is just still actually respecting these lines. Yep, that makes sense for sure. I bought some like cork boards. They don't really have a board backing behind them, but like the cork part of it, it's not really what I expected, to be honest, but there's quite a bit of them. And so what I'm gonna do right now behind my trading setup, I have like a ridiculous amount of paper like tacked to the wall and stuff. So I'm gonna take all that down today and get all these boards up on the screen or up on the wall, and then like start to use that as like a tack board and stuff. Should be nicer and give me more room without filling my wall full of holes. Yeah, the broker would like it. Hell yeah. More fees, more commissions. Get it. It's actually crazy how like respectful of these coil lines price has gotten. It's gonna break eventually. It's trying right now. We're gonna get a new low of the day here. One tick so far. There's two. Barely broke out and then closed back up in. Possible mean reversion. Not really the pattern I'd like to see down there to get in on. To be honest. Another new low. Yeah, really low relative volume so far today. A lot of liquidity underneath there, underneath that 77.50 low. Our doji candle yesterday low is down here. We may finally come down and test it. Okay, we broke into our liquidity point. Now if I get a little mean reversion set up, I would definitely take it. We're quite extended now. Momentum definitely did come into the downside. Not bad, really. It's just the candle's so big that it kind of already took a lot of the move, just looking for it to come back to the moving average. We opened, tested a little bit lower and rejected and came all the way up, closed back up into this previous area right there real quick. It's not really reacting like I'd want to see it, to be honest. Mind you, those were pretty higher prices if you were trying to mean reversion, because I'd be only looking to bring it back up really to the moving average or this underside. The initial reaction was pretty bullish. but there was no follow through. It tried and it kind of got slammed still. Wasn't really my ideal pattern here. See what happens here if we poke like one tick. Even still, like, the approach back down doesn't make me want to get long. Specifically this candle that they tried to hold a higher low and actually push up, and it couldn't. Little stop out pop. Did get bought up instantly so far. Looks like a better opportunity than this one did, but let's see if we can get a trend line break into extreme. That would be more ideal for a bigger reversal. This is better than this one, especially because this was the first try. Tried again, it did close back up in. Be target one right there. Was good. It was the failed breakout. Showed bullish pressure. Tested one more time. Failed to break out. Closed back up in. It's a good mean reversion trade right there. Inside hanging, man. Another inside candle. We're coiling up here. Back up to the moving average on the 5-minute. This looked good. Regain the moving average, try to hold. Especially after, like, quickly off that downtrend. Trap traders, right? Trap traders. Shorts getting out quick. Excuse me. Well, it's a good move back up in. See what happens on this retest here. What's up, man? How's it going? We have our second chatter of all time. How's it feel? Yeah, hopefully one day. Still learning though. I get a little bit of time through the winters, so I try to put in as much time as I can. Treat it like it is my job. Hopefully one day. It has been a grind, that's for sure, man. Got a little bit of a potential. I'm watching to see if this fails. Gone a little bit farther than I expected already. There was some selling pressure up here. I've been dabbling with looking at charts for around 2 years, but for like, you know, 9 months out of the year, I work full-time construction. I still look at charts every night, and I do some swing trading a little bit here and there. But as far as active day trading, I try to do it as much as I can in the winters. That's my and hopefully eventually, you know, I could learn enough to make it a full-time gig. I love it though. I definitely love the grind. This is not too bad. We had to have a hanging man here. We know we had lots of down pressure originally. We're tapping our head on the ceiling again. Same downtrend line. It's kind of rejecting here. It's either going to be a nice short or a trap. How long you been at it, man? No, I do not. Still no trigger. Looking less like a rejection. Nice, man. Good stuff. Yeah, I do. So I trade the first 2.5 hours of the session, and then I usually do one market replay as well. Not 3 to 6 though. Damn, that's a grind. I usually do a good hour review of past days, depending. And so this definitely is no trade trigger now for me. Got too many candles that stayed above. And And then I do one replay trade. Usually have a day of the previous week, so I can try to not be so so hopefully I don't remember as much about the day type thing. But yeah, I'm a big fan of the replay trade. I've had bits and pieces of consistency. Like there are stretches of some consistency, and then ultimately I boom and bust. Now, when I just came back to this again, I've got 22 I think days in now since I came back, and even though I think I'm probably net negative, like maybe a little tiny bit, but essentially break even or really close to it. This has been not as profitable as I would normally be over this amount of time, but also not as big of fluctuations in like account balance. So I think that's slight improvement. My goal for this first month back at it was like straight consistency and straight discipline. So I have my 3 strategies and that's it. And basically, unless they produce perfectly, I sit on my hands. So that has been a big growth for me this month because I never really used to be able to do that. I would, you know, I always had strategies, but I would deploy them kind of all willy-nilly. I will say that I feel a lot more disciplined this month so far, like this attempt so far, than I ever have before in the past. So that feels good. But yeah, that was kind of my first big thing I'm trying to work on. I got to get way more disciplined, and this looks a little bit better of a rejection. Disciplined in what I'm trying to do, so at least when I have a large amount of sample data to go over of my trading, there is like similarities for me to improve on. Because if I'm not disciplined enough to only take what I think is the same setup over and over, then I don't really have a foundation to grow on. So that's kind of like where I'm at. Yeah, I can for sure. I'll do it at the end though, just so I can keep focus for now. But yeah, at the end, in like 45 minutes, I could do it for sure. Definitely looks like it's trying to reject up here. I would have rather it have rejected sooner. I don't like on this time frame how it looks, to be honest. I would have rather this first candle have attempted to go and closed negatively. It's not as perfect as I would be looking for. No, I've never really dabbled too much with tick charts. I just use the 1 minute, the 5 minute, hourly, daily. For now. I know a lot of futures traders do love big charts though. For my setups, I usually aim for like, I'm pretty happy if I get, you know, 1 to 4, 1 to 5 opportunities a day. And if I go through, I'm pretty close to that. There are some days where I get multiple. I might not take all the signals, but they're there. That's my consistency lacking. But some days there's none. Average, yeah, you know, like probably 2 to 4 ish, somewhere around there. I don't really like more than that. I used to do a lot more than that, and then I've dabbled with trying, you know, 1 a day. And I just feel like for my personality and that amount of trades seems to work well for me. You definitely don't need, I mean, for me, I don't need many, right? If you take a couple good trades, that's all you need. And then if I can be consistent with those couple good trades a day, then you just size up. But consistency on those couple good trades a day is the first goal. Kind of have a pretty strong 2-bar happening here, trying to recover this moving average. It might roll over and keep going down, but not the ideal signal for me. This was a miss though, for sure. Not longing that pullback for that mean reversion trade was a miss. 100%. Other than that, there wasn't really any situations today that I really wanted to get in. I did want to get in for that one, but did not. This one had a good setup, but not the right context, so I couldn't do anything with it. And I was watching for a nice double top setup here, but again, it hesitated too long, so nothing there either. Well, we didn't break through the low yesterday yet. The morning session may stay just as an inside day. We got close. We got pretty bullish reaction off of it so far, so maybe it wants to come back up and now test the higher side of yesterday. Thanks for stopping in though, man, and typing in chat. Cool. Yeah, prop funding challenge. Yep, correct. Been me and one time in here. He's my faithful. I think one time you've been here for like 2 weeks, a good 2 weeks now, man. Maybe even 3 weeks. Yeah, absolutely. I do bracket orders. Yep. I go for like 1.5 to 1, 2 to 1. That's kind of like my go-to. We go way back. Hell yeah. Yeah, I do tight stops. My signals are all based off candlestick patterns and like, you know, price action levels. So my stop always goes 2 ticks beyond whatever I'm using as my signal to get in. And I'll trail it based on how the trade's performing for me. I don't use any indicators. I guess I do use a moving average. I use 120 EMA moving average. That's it. I guess in volume. I've tried so many different ones and different combinations, and for me, just learning candlesticks and like watching the chart for long enough, just naked chart reading has been the best for me personally. Although I will say that there was a period of time where I used, I mean, I'm sure everybody has, I used RSI divergences at extreme points. So when the market was, you know, far away from the mean and I got a, you know, a double bottom and maybe there was RSI divergence, I would use that as a filtering system. That was about my extent of success, mild success with indicators though. I decided to I studied Al Brooks's material, if you're familiar with him. And that was a big turning point for me for like understanding. I use the EMA just for context, and 2 of my 3 setups, if they happen off of the EMA being like the first touch back, add extra like confirmation, extra strength. Today's not a really good day for what I'm trying to do, to be real honest. During these real rangy style days, the only thing I can generally do is like a mean reversion style trade, which was here, but I missed it. I never pulled the trigger, man. I hum and hawed too long. I did that too. Yeah. That, I'll be honest, that is that was how I started. And I don't know what happened psychologically for me, but there was a turning point and it kind of created the opposite problem, and I kind of turned into a bit of a wiener. So, I mean, both are bad, really. Mine's just as bad as trading too much. It has helped me be a lot more disciplined for only taking the very best setups. but very best setups for me out of my three strategies. But like if you go through my video history for the last month, there's like a pretty strong reoccurring theme where, let's say I take a trade early on in the day and it works out beautifully, there's almost no occurrences where I will trade again. I will struggle to like risk that money that I've now made. I want to hold on to it, and that's caused me a problem, because on days that I'll get 3-4 trade signals, there's days in there where all of them worked out nicely. I could have walked away with 3 or 4 nice like 2-to-1 trades, but instead I walked away with 1, and that backfires because I will take multiple losers in a day. If there's I have no problem trading a second time if I'm down on the day. So that is a hurdle for me right now. And I know it comes with lack of confidence in my system and not truly like believing, or so, you know, what I've learned anyway, and what I hear people say, and it makes sense, is that I don't have true confidence in my system yet to know that I can continue and that the numbers will get to what I want at the end, as long as I'm consistent with what I'm doing for that trade setup. But like if I have a red day yesterday or today, and then tomorrow I take a nice winning trade in the beginning, I'm like, I gotta stay green. Like I don't want to risk this now. And so it has created a second problem, psychological problem all on its own, because that's preventing me from ever really having, you know, truly nice green days. So as long as I continue to not take multiple winning trades in a day, but I do continue to take multiple losers in a day, the math will never work. And I know this, but it's a work in progress. Yeah, exactly that, man. Exactly that. It's all psychological in my head, and like I've said it to myself, and I try to talk myself out of it a lot. But yeah, it's a work in progress. We do have a little bit of failure up here. We did fail to break out. Again. This line doesn't need to be there anymore. Oh, that's a cool way to look at it. Yep. Yeah, that's a really good way to look at it, actually. I like that. That might help. Thank you. That's going to go on a sticky note. Yeah, man, you made sticky note status. I got a few sticky notes of one-time wisdom too. That's why I made this channel, though. I've never I just wanted to try to find other people that were like growing and, you know, not go through the struggles solo dolo. Ticker symbol job. Hey man, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. Have a good day, man. I guess if you're leaving now, I won't be able to show you my setups that I like, but I will take some time and show you next time you're around. Cheers, man. Trying again to get up over. We knew there were strong buyers down here. This is our first retest of that valley. Did get bought up instantly. We have a nice two-legged pullback back up to the resistance area. But context-wise, presentation-wise, it kind of looks like it wants to try to actually go higher. We checked the range below, we're still held. Makes sense that we test higher. We got a close above the line. It's trying. I don't think we had a close above the line yet. Yeah, it's first one. Yeah, we did get higher. Up testing the larger trend line now. Checked that last, like that dip, checked a little bit below, and then they bought back up. We're back testing the high. Yes, sir. London closed. That's right. Good call. It's funny, man. I fucking when I started this morning, I looked at my economic calendar and I was like, all right, phone, alarm on phone. Is there any economic releases that are going to happen while I'm sitting here trading that I need to, like, 2 minutes before, be like reminded of? Because man, yesterday I felt silly for like for doing that. I had even told myself, I was like, all right, we know we got, you know, important news at 11. Don't be in a position. Even said it at the beginning of the stream. Got so focused on how beautiful that price action looked, because man, it did look, it was literally perfect for like one of my like AAA of one of the strategies. And I was just like completely disregarded I took the trade into the 11 o'clock volatility. Like literally the 11 o'clock volatility triggered my entry and my stop all within 5 seconds. Good reminder. It's a nice push. Double top after a small inside, but didn't really close, you know, real bearish. We are at the same resistance supply line. Yep. No signal or trigger. Started, but nope. Checking above some of these actual levels now. Back up in the top section of today's range. Mm, 30 seconds left on this 5-minute candle. No good sell signal up there for a fade back for mean reversion. We are fairly extended. So I was watching, but nothing there for me. Coming right back down in. We have a shooting star. That 5-minute closed pretty bearishly. We did break above some of these other levels though. For a range day, I guess it makes sense. We're back up near the highs. Price did get there quickly. I was in the right mindset of looking for a mean reversion, but price action not the way I want to see it. So we're chilling. My mistake today so far was missing this mean reversion trade. Glad that I didn't take it here and didn't take it here, but this one was just a miss. Back testing the moving average. We check just underneath this little channel here, which makes sense. Hitting the moving average. I don't really want to take a high one entry, especially off the presentation on the 5-minute. Nice. Okay, we got another test. Another check a little lower. It's one tick so far. I like that it did 2 attempts now. Still trying to hold the moving average. Not really getting a nice strong bullish signal though. It's more of a hesitation. Still not really any follow through. It actually went one tick above, which would have triggered in some longs. And a stop out underneath here now would be like a trap. Yeah, would be. The 5-minute does not look that good for taking a long here. It's really why, unless I got a really strong bullish signal there, I wasn't interested at all. A little trap. Actually only went one tick again though, which I would have expected because the second one failed for it to go further. Three one-tick pokes, or sorry, two one-tick pokes in a row. Just doesn't look right. It's trying, but the larger time frame just doesn't make me want to long here. It is testing these tops, but especially the way that it's reacted so far, it's just not as good as it could be. How you doing over there one time? Did you end up sitting on your hands pretty much all day too, man? Yeah. God, I didn't FOMO into that. I knew it. It just not right. It's just not right. I would have before. I would have saw that one tick poke and this candle start to go green, and I would have just like disregarded everything else and would have been like, bye. Yeah, just kind of one of them days, man. Kind of one of them days. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Definitely not what you want to do. I mean, the morning was pretty nasty. This was not conducive for my kind of trading. When this move down happened, you know, I was still under the understanding that we were coiling and maybe price was going to check the low of yesterday, and this was like, you know, we had extended after quite a, you know, tight day. So that was a good mean reversion opportunity. It really was. So it was a really good learn opportunity off that for me. We had like nice bullish pressure step in here off this big 2-bar that happened right at our extremes on the day, which is showing us something, but still not an entry for me. And then we tried one more time. Price broke down, came right back up, closed right back up in, like really nicely. That was a phenomenal failed breakout to the downside long entry right there for a quick mean reversion trade. Now, I mean, I would have only taken it back up here to the moving average, but still, that was a miss. Absolutely a miss. And thinking back, like the reason I didn't take it, I mean, I thought about it. I just didn't. Like, I just didn't. It was a mistake, a miss for sure, unfortunately. I guess because I was like so patient through the rest of the day. I wasn't just like go mode when I should have been. And then there was nothing else. Like we started to get some like nice price action up here for potential mean reversion, but I don't like to use a mean reversion setup in the middle of the day. It's price action, right? Like this down here, I like it because price had extended quite a ways, right? So you pull it back up in, but now we're right up here in the middle. So again, that's growth for me, because before I would have been like, oh, price action says go, we go, disregarding context of like what the market has done today and where we are now again. So that was good. Not really a good long signal down here for me. Price did check like the exact level you would expect it to, right into the top of that valley, and then held strong and went higher. So as soon as we saw that start to work, we kind of anticipated that bullish move, so we didn't get in front of it, but at the same time I didn't really have any opportunity for how I trade to get into it either. And then through here we got a couple one tick poke situations, but I have written down now that I only do like certain things off twice. The third attempt is not what I'm looking for, and we didn't get the reactions that we would want to see either. And it also correlated with the 5-minute chart looking very bearish, looking like it was failing to break out of that downtrend line again. So no setup through there either. So I think that's where I'm probably going to call it. We're pretty much at my time. That was my day review right there. Really, there was only the one, just the one. And I wasn't ready. I didn't shift modes quick enough mentally. Wasn't in go mode when I needed to be. Needed to have been stalking that opportunity as soon as I saw that bullishness step in and slowly come to check it again. I should have been much more ready for if the trade set up. But all in all, you know, did some things right today. That was the only mistake for the day. Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, absolutely. The price action that I like to trade, like visually sets up all over the place, but if you really think about what you're trying to do with it, it doesn't make sense to take like that trade setup is for when price is stretched like far away from where its mean is. We had a very strong range day happening, so when it pulled far away from it and gave a nice pattern to take it back up in, that was where you take it, not once we're all the way back up in. And I was watching too for up here, because same concept, right? Our mean's kind of in the middle of the day. We don't have, I didn't get a signal up here though that I like for visual price action, so nothing happened through there. These are all concepts that are new for me. I mean, they're not new. I guess I understood them for, it feels like as long as I've been trading. I've never applied them, right? I never like actually listened to them. This is all like new discipline for me. So I feel good. I feel like I am growing. I am doing things smarter than I used to do them. So we're taking steps. We're taking steps. And I'm also journaling like substantially more and reviewing substantially more than I ever have. So trying to take the proper steps. But yeah, I'm gonna call it, man. I guess I gotta go shovel a bunch of snow. So you have yourself a good rest of your day, man. And I'll be back here same time again tomorrow morning and give her another go.